And we're off.
Sorry, I was just getting something set up.
Yeah. We're starting off with Narshe.
Yeah, so the main thing that they'll be doing in this opening section is doing Bioblast with Taro and to run away with Wedge and Vix because we want all the EXP on Taro. We want her to hit level 6 before Marshall because I believe it makes Edgar join the party at a higher level.
Yeah, it makes everyone join at a higher level. Every party member that joins is going to be based on their level is going to be based on an average of all of our current party members' average level. And since Terra is the only member of our party, a level on Terra is basically a level for everyone.
You gotta share the love, share the levels around.
Alright. So you might notice here that Maffoonian has managed to traverse this mine shaft here without an encounter. That is not good luck versus Kekuman's bad luck. That is Maffoonian setting up his seed before the race. Kekuman elected not to set up his seed before the race. We normally go for seed 244. Now, while seed 244 is a very good seed, it is by far not the only seed. There are a lot of seeds, there's a lot of potential to have a good run regardless of setting up your seed or not. But 244 is very consistent, gives you everything you need, and doesn't give you a whole lot you don't. And, probably most importantly is that it sets up for another manipulation that we're going to run into down the line.
So Math looking like we got that quick kill right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Kekuman did not.
Yeah, Kekuman's new to the run, joined just for the tournament. So it's like he just picked up the run, did some practice attempts, like past couple streams. So their PB is I think like a high one, like a 138 or 139 or something like that. So they're still kind of getting their bearings into the run and stuff. So, well, quick kill can sometimes be hard to grasp. It involves weight tricking the tech missile from Terra, and also some either depending on like the head's ATB, and also if you get slimed, you have to do some different things. So.
Yeah. Yeah, what you really want to go for is you want to. The grue that happens is actually the shell's action of hiding the head. And what we want to do is we want to cancel that action with a well-timed fire beam.
Yeah, I guess instead it's in the middle of counterattacking the fire beam, so I can't do the grue to hide the head, and so we abuse that to get the quick kill. It's actually not super bad to get. Like you can kind of, the guide is very helpful in explaining it. But just it's something that can be like weight tricking for some people is still kind of tough.
Yeah, weight tricking is deceptively difficult in this game because it's used to pull off some actually surprisingly time-specific tricks. We'll see something like this happening again in another very dangerous boss fight happening in, I want to say 30 minutes? 40 minutes maybe? Yeah.
Something like that. If you're talking about the boss, I think you are. I myself am fairly new to the category, but I am trying my best to pay attention to everything and learn as much as I can. So Maff's got a pretty decent lead here against Keku. Like I said, he's gonna need to hit level 6 on Terra. So you'll see, like right before the last section, there's gonna be moving back and forth just to force an extra encounter to get to that XP. So we see Keku now making his way to this back area of Narshe. And this is the encounter. Oh, it's a back attack, which is it's like the step route kind of just manipulates when you get the encounters, not specifically. I don't think it manipulates what encounters you get, and it definitely doesn't manipulate whether it be preemptive or back attack. All that's still RNG. So back attack, your ATB starts, I think, at 0. It starts very low, if not at 0.
Yeah, ATB starts very low when you get back attacked or pincered. And yeah, one bad pincer can really decide the race. And yeah, the step rod just can't control for that. And that's one of the reasons why the step rod is like, it's great for racing, really, because it's consistent. Like you're going to get enough encounters, you're going to get the stuff that you need. You're not gonna have to worry about, getting into dangerous situations or having to walk around a bunch trying to grind encounters for a long period of time.
Yeah, exactly. And especially for some spots where we don't need experience, we're going to be running away from a lot of battles. The step route especially takes advantage of minimizing the amount of battles, extra battles we get into. Like you'll see it after on the way to Figaro Castle. There's like, I think there's 2 encounters. It might be 1. It's very minimal.
Yeah, I believe it's 2. But importantly, none of them happen on the desert tiles.
Yeah, desert's kind of rough. You won't die, but you can lose a lot of HP, and they come in big packs usually.
Yeah, lose a lot of HP and definitely lose a lot of time. Since we're not going to see, we might probably not going to see them. My first commentary, and I'm already cursing someone.
Like, there's no way that'll happen. 100%. It's for sure. There's just no chance, and then it's guaranteed gonna happen.
But yeah, there are enemies in the desert that can inflict a stop status, which
that I did not know.
Yes,
Now I'm really scared of the desert.
So yeah, so if like Locke runs away and Terra is by herself and stopped, that is just that is a painful amount of time loss.
So you see Locke here, and one of the things if you may have noticed is we renamed it to just be a single character. It's because in a lot of RPGs, specifically old school RPGs, prints text one character at a time. So if you rename your character to one single letter, you save time, and every single time their name is printed. And so Locke is just L. And then this section here, we're not going to be... You get the help from the Moogles, and we're going to be moving Locke down and then leaving him behind and take Mog's party. And you're going to be seeing Math hopefully land some enemy skips here, kind of abusing the fact that there's some parts of the enemy's animation that don't trigger an encounter. You can kind of just walk right past them. So you got the first one, and there's going to be another one coming up right now. Very nice.
Just waiting for the sixth dude, and he's past him.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, so those guys, the way the directions they move is preset, so you can always move in that way every single time and get by those dudes. And having a net happen on the first round slows down the fight, but as long as it's not on Mog, it's pretty okay. Or at least as long as it's not on Mog after you've committed to your attack, because then you can't remove the Mithril Pike and Shield.
Yeah, it was on Cuckoo, which is... you lose the animation time, really. Cuckoo is a terrible Moogle.
The two Moogles in the middle are... they do the least damage out of all. Even Mog's unarmed attack does more than the Moogles in the middle, so like...
Yeah.
But we take off the pike off of Mog there, and we'll be moving it to Edgar later. I didn't see if Maff actually took the shield off. If he did, you can move that onto Terra for some added safety.
Yeah, that Mithril Pike is... it becomes available sort of at the end of the speedrun, and we're going to be having it available for pretty much the entire time Edgar's in the party, which is a really nice bonus.
Yeah, it's by no means required, so if Mog does get netted, it's your run's not dead. You just lose potential time, and there might be fights become suddenly potentially more dangerous. Some fights you need to end them very quickly, and it relies on Edgar's damage to do so. Even Kefka himself is one of those fights. So having the Mithril Pike is always an added benefit. You can definitely still even forget it and still be okay, but it can be a time loss or even like a death in some scenarios.
Yeah, but it's a really nice thing to have, but there are backups, towards the end of the run, especially.
I would like to know those backups because I need them. My last training race, Mog got netted, so I couldn't get the Mithril Pike off.
Ouch. Well, I'll bring them up when we come across them.
You see right here is that's the spot in the sea moon. That's how you can kind of tell. It's how I know for a fact that spot is one of the encounters, and then that's just gonna walk across the top of the desert and then move down, and that'll be it for the encounter. So just 2 encounters and then get to Figaro Castle. Figaro Castle, I've heard someone describe as cutscene land, which as a lot of RPGs tend to have one section that is pretty cutscene heavy. Figaro Castle is definitely that in this run, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Keku not doing step route, which means that he's susceptible to completely random encounters. So in this case, this leafer isn't a big deal. Like Exco said, and I'm just now learning. It's just the desert fights that are really dangerous.
Yeah, not even necessarily dangerous that they'll kill you, but dangerous that they will cost you a lot of time. Oh, and getting an encounter right off the desert, that could be a good thing.
Ends up being a good thing. He actually also only got 2 encounters, so no step route and the same amount of encounters, and they were both single leafers. So step route not really fully required. It just kind of makes things more consistent.
Right.
Kefka moving a bit too far to the left, but lining up with that gear eventually.
And moving to the left is something that I like to do in my runs too.
So Keku's behind, but by no means out. I mean, we're still very early into the run. We're only about 16 minutes in. There's still a lot of things that can go wrong for both runners, but Keku's definitely not out of this race.
Yeah.
He's probably about a minute behind, maybe.
Yeah. Definitely pretty much all of Saban's scenario can really swing a race. In particular, since Keku did not prepare his seed and is not doing the step route, you could also have trouble on the river, which will be coming up in boss after this one. 2 bosses from now, excuse me.
Yeah, it'll be Magitech Armor and then
Vargas, and then the river, yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but one of the things that they step around manipulates the encounters you get on the river, not the encounters, the number of encounters. So Math will be getting 2 encounters on the river as opposed to Keku's question mark. Because could be anything. I think 6 is the max you can get. But I could be very wrong there.
You can get way more than 6.
Okay, then.
Speaking as someone who's gotten way more than 6.
I'm real scared about that then. So we're nearing sort of the end of cutscene land, the cutscene castle, whatever you would like to call it, whatever your preference is. There's this Kefka cutscene, and then a small walk with Terra.
Yeah.
And then we'll be at our next boss fight, which is unbelievably free, one of the freest boss fights in existence. And no, it's not me like playing it up as it's actually very difficult. It's one of the easiest fights ever.
Yeah, there really shouldn't be anybody dying. There's a tiny chance that Terra will die, but that's it.
Yeah, she gets I guess if she got double lasered.
Yes, exactly that.
Has that happened to you?
As a matter of fact.
One of the things I like to do here is beat lock. Yeah. Just get in front of lock and win the race, as I like to call it. You win the race right there.
Yeah, just show Locke who's boss. Locke, you walk too slow. Something that I learned early on is that those chocobos walk in a set pattern. So don't walk straight across, or else you will walk straight into the chocobo riding guards.
Like regardless of what seed you're on?
I'm pretty sure that, yeah. So yeah, just a small thing that you learn when you're picking up this game. So, in the last part of Cutscene Land, we see Edgar being woken up from his slumber by something. and then we see that this big metal and stone castle is somehow on fire.
It's on fire. I was actually going to bring that up. It's like this stone and metal castle is just on fire. Like a lot of fire.
And it's apparently all Kefka's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Kefka can, I don't know, there's magic? But no, not really. It's not even a really good excuse. There's no reason for this to be on fire, but it sure is.
Yeah.
And they jump on the chocobos, and then we'll be very shortly getting into a double Magitech armor fight, which when I first played the game as a child seemed really intimidating because the first thing you do is control Magitech armor, and it's like insanely busted. But these guys, I guess, are really bad at using them because this boss fight is going to be Edgar showing how strong he is. Edgar kind of is the strongest for a while and carries the party. And there's also just the quickest in killing all the enemies on the screen with the auto crossbow, which is what you'll see him doing here. Just 2 auto crossbows and these guys are dead.
You'll see the auto crossbow being used for a almost the entire run. It is a very good tool that Edgar comes with and uses with great regularity and to great effect. And another thing of import that you will not see either of these runners doing is using any kind of magic with Terra.
Yeah, if you use magic on this fight, there's a long cutscene that happens where Edgar and Locke are amazed at the fact that she can use magic. It's insane. Oh my goodness. So it's very important that you don't use magic. Actually, I think that even persists after this fight.
Yeah, it can have... that cutscene can happen either in this fight or anywhere in the upcoming cave section. Once you get out of the cave, you're safe.
Yeah, because we'll be using magic on cults. And it doesn't happen there, so it's...
Right, the next major dungeon.
Yeah, they'll be going to South Figaro Cave right now, which is pretty simple. I mean, we're gonna, instead of running from things in there, we're going to be using the auto crossbow to get some experience, because we want each party member to hit specific levels before Vargas, just to make sure that everything's safe.
Yeah. And again, those levels contribute to the levels of people down the line, so...
Yeah, so Sabin and Shadow and Cyan.
Oh yeah. And we're also going to need just a little tiny bit more gold. At this point, we probably have around 4,000 gold. We want 4,580 so that we can go to South Figaro, do the first shop of the game to buy 3 sets of sprint shoes, and then rent the chocobo to leave.
Boom! Auto crossbow, everything's dead. That'll be the formula for everything in South Figaro Cave. You keep an attack with Terra and Locke just in case you get some low rolls on the auto crossbow.
Yeah,
but it's pretty rare.
The Blearies specifically, those little fur things with the eye, they can potentially survive auto crossbow. An extra bonus is that if you have queued up actions with all of your characters with full ATB, at the end of combat, then you save, I believe it's 1/5 of a second. Because the experience and gold text and all that stuff pops up a little quicker.
And I didn't know, and I'm stealing that. Math getting two preemptives. Just some good luck there. Always nice to see preemptive attacks at any point in the game. Doesn't really matter when.
Yeah, preemptives are always nice. Preemptives are basically free runs if you don't want to fight a battle, and free kills if you do.
One thing we haven't mentioned that just got introduced is some of the spots on the overworld map. There's a 0% chance for an encounter to spawn them. We call them encounterless tiles. So part of the step graph and also just movement in general is to use those spots as much as possible. So there's a couple steps that Maf just took and Keku will take shortly that there's just on the map where no matter you'll never get an encounter when you step on them. And there's in the guide there's it shows you which tiles those are.
Yeah,
but he bought the 3 sprint shoes and going straight to Mount Colts.
Yeah, there are a lot of really great graphics, and something else I should bring up. Math ran into a tiny bit of bad RNG. Those 2 dudes that are wandering around in South Figaro in front of the stable can totally body block you, and he had a bad encounter with Red Vest guy. He had a chance to beat Shadow, but then Red Vest guy intervened.
Yeah, and when you're on step route, like you would think I'll just walk around them, but if you're on the step route, you kind of just gotta wait.
And in that case, that Red Vest guy was just like in the hole between the buildings.
I've seen Shadow get pincered by those 2 guys. Like he just could not move. So we pick up the Atlas Armlet, which will make Edgar do quite a bit more damage, which is going to help. Yeah, it's going to help, especially in Tusker fights. You see Maf running from brawlers. Brawlers you don't want to see. Ideally, most things in the cave, it can be 2 brawlers or 2 Tuskers, I think, is the enemy formations that can spawn here.
And neither of them
the
are
fights outside,
I think.
Yeah, double Tusker you can take, but it's long and it's not super great. It's good XP though, and we do want to get some experience, so he's going to be auto crossbowing these trillions. Bane Touch means he's got to heal that poison, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. That Atlas Armlet already paying dividends, thanks to it auto crossbow now one-shots those trilliums. Previously it would have left them with a tiny amount of hit points. And yeah, Antidote needed to cure poison because if you are walking around outside of combat with the poison status on, not only do you take a little bit of damage, but the screen just freaks out and you can't see anything.
Yeah, it completely obscures your vision.
It basically does to your eyes what Final Fantasy I poison does to your ears.
Yeah, jeez. So this Tusker Serpius fight, it's gonna auto crossbow and then probably fire the Tusker, because Tusker's got quite a bit of HP, so beefy dude.
Yep. Oh, and he got the runaway with Locke as well.
Nice.
Locke does not need quite as much experience as the other 2 people in our party right now, so we run away with him for 1 fight in order to boost up the other 2 a little bit more. Particularly Terra.
I think in 2 levels, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, Terra needs 2 levels, the other 2 need 1. Although Edgar is a higher level as well, so he needs a bit more experience than Locke.
Yeah, the double trillions, while the auto crossbow can kill him easily, it's not really conducive to a lot of experience. This fight, however, the 1 trillion 2 Serpius and Tusker fight is great for the XP. So likely he's going to be getting what he needs from this fight. There's still more fights to come. I think the step route you get it like right before Vargas.
Yeah, you get the levels you need on the step that you come face to face with Vargas. And I believe you got a preemptive there. That means that what you saw him do there is equip the mithril pike that he took off of Mog earlier. And then he moved Edgar's weapon over to Locke, which is a mithril saber, I believe. That's basically boosting Locke's damage for the upcoming battle with Vargas. It's still not going to be a whole hell. Excuse me. It's not going to be too much, but it's going to be important.
Keku's not terribly far behind. He's also on Mount Colts and is doing the same thing. He's probably they might be on the same screen right now. The screen they're on is kind of big. Keku's a couple screens behind. So Maf's still got a pretty sizable lead. But Keku's keeping up. I don't think he's lost, especially a bunch of time against Maf overall. But See Terra and Locke gaining the levels there. So I think just Edgar is left. Oh no, he already got the level. So starting the fight with Vargas. Vargas, the things we do specifically to try and avoid a Doomfist happening. Is that correct?
Yeah, there is a strat that you can do to avoid a Doomfist or make a Doomfist happen super early after Sabin shows up. Usually that's when Vargas attacks right away, though. I believe. Vargas still hasn't attacked. Oh no, there's his attack. So I believe we're going to be going for a Doomfist skip here. That'll save a little bit of time. It involves weight tricking, as most of these boss fights do. And it depends on when Vargas gets his turn relative to his bears, I believe.
Yeah, so Vargas comes with 2 bears, because why not?
Yeah.
And once you kill the bears, you just kind of wail on Vargas.
Yeah. To kill the bears, you're looking at an auto crossbow and 2 fires. And then you want to kill those bears as soon as possible because while those bears are alive, Vargas isn't even targetable. And then you just hold A for the rest of the fight. Locke auto attacks with his new sword. Edgar spams his auto crossbow and Terra just throws more fire.
Yeah, auto crossbow won't even hit Vargas. It just hits the 2 bears. So Vargas is invulnerable. So there's a Doomfist, so no skip. But
yeah, no skip, but it happened as early as possible. And since it happened super early, it's not even that big of a time loss because Maffoonian needed to input the blitz command for pummel that you saw there. And he just did that while the text after Doomfist, which is really the thing you want to not have happen, while that was scrolling by, he did pummel and one-shot Vargas with it.
Yeah, pummel always kills Vargas. It's like the scripted way to end it. You can do other blitzes that don't think they end it, though.
Yeah, you can do other blitzes. They don't do anything. I believe
they do damage, but I don't think Vargas can actually even be killed like that. I've never even really tried it, to be honest. I've always just done pummel to continue the game. I think I did one time do Orbo and then it didn't end it.
Yeah.
Pummel,
I believe Vargas has a ridiculous amount of hit points, and then it's just like after doing so much damage, he triggers the phase 2. Basically, it's impossible for Sabin to kill Vargas through pure HP damage before Doomfist runs down.
You see Kefka starting his Vargas fight.
I do not expect to see Keku go for a Doomfist skip. For some of the reasons I mentioned before, like getting Vargas to do Doomfist super early and the tech and having to do Sabin's blitz input anyway, it's not necessarily a big time save, and it is a really complicated trick. Like, again, it depends on the turn order of the enemies, and it depends on a lot of really specific weight tricking, and the time save is potentially not even that much. There's a lot more tricks with a lot greater time saves to learn as a new runner of this category.
So, Maff actually going into the Returner's Hideout without saving, there's a chance for a soft lock here, depending on this NPC's movement, or where it's located. If he's like right up where this guy needs to move, you can soft lock the game. But thankfully that guy was nowhere near a point where it can soft lock. I've had 2 soft lock scares so far, and I've only done like 3 runs of this. So having 2 out of 3 soft lock scares is I'm inclined to save before the return is had out as a result. Just in case.
I think if you mash, you shouldn't get a soft lock. Like if your mashing is just on point enough. But yeah, it's something that can give you a little bit of a scare sometimes.
Keku getting a quick Doomfist as well. No skip from either of them, but like you said, it's kind of complicated. Keku being a new runner, I don't know if he can even do it yet.
It doesn't look like. Yeah, it doesn't look like either of them necessarily even lost any time from the Doomfist going off, because the Doomfist went off super early and the text was finishing scrolling while they were putting in the pummel input.
So on Matt's screen, we're talking to the other members of our party. Matt will then go to the north side room and pick up some chests and probably the antidote from the bucket, which will be safety for lock scenario. And then we're going to, one of the things that's probably well known between a lot of casual players is the ability to get the Genji Glove this early. Genji Glove is a super good item. It lets you equip 2 weapons and attack twice with them.
Yeah, Genji Glove is going to be the key to Edgar's damage-dealing power later on in the run. He's going to be swinging around that mithril pike and the sword that Locke is currently carrying and doing more damage than anyone else in the party for a while, and very close to the most damage of the party in the final fight of this run, the titular Kefka.
Yes. So the way you get the Genji Glove is you say no to Bannon 3 times.
Yeah. And something to mention, there's a really easy and neat trick to very easily get no every time, and that is just hold down while mashing whenever you get that prompt. It works with Bannon here, it works with tutorials, like save point tutorial, the tutorial before that, the 3 Moogle party fight that you saw with Locke earlier, the directions that you take on the river coming up.
Yeah, the river is literally about to come up in a couple, like maybe 20 seconds.
Yes.
And Maff is doing step route, which means he's also going to be manipulating the number of encounters, which means he's going to go up here and save.
Yes. And this is the first point of the game where I would say that setting up your seed before your races is going to give you a really massive advantage. You can, if you do not do river manipulation, you can literally lose minutes on this upcoming segment. As for the equips, we can see him equipping Sprint Shoes to Sabin. He's going to need those pretty soon. Obviously also putting the Genji Glove on Edgar. And putting the Genji Glove on Edgar also automatically equips his 2 best weapons, which is the Mithril Pike and the Mithril Sword, which was automatically unequipped from Locke when he left the party, conveniently enough. And there's the river manipulation, leaving that room as that dude walks onto the... Is that carpet? Wood, maybe?
It's probably like a little rug.
And whatever that is. That means he'll be getting 2 river encounters, I believe.
Yeah, if he did it correctly.
Which is...
Bannon got crit.
Well, luckily there is not really any danger of Bannon dying. Even though it's very important to keep him alive, he's also pretty safe from dying if he's in the back row. He's actually got fairly good defense and magic defense, even though he has low hit points. And the hardest hitting enemy on the river by far is Ultros. And Ultros does not really like targeting him. He tends to go after Sabin and Terra more.
Yeah, the main thing on Ultros is eventually Ultros has a attack where he does tentacle on everybody.
Yes.
And that has a chance of killing Bannon. So you kind of want to make sure Bannon's at full HP if you've gotten to that point in the fight.
Yeah, Ultros has a set script. His first attack is going to be a single target tentacle at Terra. Next one's going to be a single target tentacle attack at Sabin. And the third one is going to be a multi-target tentacle attack, followed up by another attack. Sometimes a basic attack, sometimes a tentacle, I think. That third attack in particular is potentially lethal to Bannon, so we will definitely want to end the fight before that. And to help that along, we're actually going to try and delay his first turn here using the same technique we used to get the quick kill, which is to cancel. Specifically, Ultros has a counterattack for when Terra uses fire magic on him. He's going to say something about Youch and shoot Ink at Terra.
Yeah, and Ink doesn't do anything. You see Terra right now with the darkness status element.
Yeah, the darkness darkness is bugged and doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's not programmed correctly, so actually all it does is give you these cool sunglasses.
Yes.
It doesn't affect your chance to miss at all because of how evasion works, and it's super buggy programming.
Yeah, and on top of that, Terra is using magic anyway, which, well, it doesn't always hit, but I don't believe Ultros has any magic evade. Okay, and here comes the Terra attack, but Terra has already done quite a lot of damage, and
she's still lived too.
Oh wow!
A single attack from Saban finished it off, so it didn't even really end up mattering. But she survived that, which is actually it's pretty rare, to be honest.
Yeah, if you delay Ultros' attack once, then it's going to be a really fast and easy fight. Oh, and on Kekuman's screen, something else we should talk about is that he just he took a 2 Pterodon fight with Edgar. I keep wanting to call him Edward. Edgar gets 900 and something experience from that fight, which instantly boosts him to level 11. That's going to make the fight against Kefka a little bit safer. It's going to make the fight against Ultros a little bit safer too. It does boost damage a little bit. Mostly it boosts Edgar's hit points, I think.
Yeah, hit points is kind of the main thing you get from level. So math onto the first scenario of 3, Saban's scenario is what we start with. It's the longest scenario by far. You notice he didn't even bother to delete the Shadow's name. This is because Shadow's name is set so infrequently. I think just in this category, because it's a race category, that it's faster to just leave him Shadow.
Yeah, in the race category, it's Shadow's just not mentioned enough in this category. I think in any percent, also not mentioned enough. He might be mentioned enough in the 100% categories, but that's beyond my expertise right now. Anyway, I don't know if anybody is counting river encounters for Kekuman. I believe he got 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, he had at least 3 in the first screen alone. And I saw 1 on the second screen. Or is this the second screen right now?
This is the third screen coming up.
The third screen, yeah. So I think he's had 4. There is a chance for a 5th one here.
Yeah, and something
unless you've miscounted, in which case it'd be 6. Here it is. Yep.
Yeah, and he ran for most of those, and something to mention is that Bannon is one of the worst characters in the game at running away, so these encounters are very slow, and if you get a lot of them, you lose ridiculous amounts of time.
Yeah, Bannon, the logic is that Bannon's old, so running away is difficult. Cyan has kind of the same logic applied to him. He is old, therefore he is like the slowest, one of the slower runs.
I think with Cyan it's more like an honor thing, like he's a samurai, he shouldn't run away.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be?
I think so.
So see if Keku gonna try going for it. He's gonna be weight tricking Edgar's attack here.
It looks like he's just taking it.
Yeah.
He's not. Terra was at max hit points, so Terra can eat that tentacle and an ink attack and survive.
She'll die from the next attack though.
Well, the next attack is going to be aimed at Sabin. She will die to the multi-target, though.
Yeah, and Bandon for sure, because Bandon's in the front row. But the Bandon attack, he's in the front row, so he can get some extra damage.
Yes.
So the extra damage should hopefully push us out of the Ultros fight before that ever becomes a worry. And with the Mithril Pike, especially, and the extra level, like you see him, he wasn't even close.
Yeah, and Ultros goes down.
So good fight from Keku. Good stuff. I mean, the extra XP on Edgar definitely helped a lot there.
Yeah, he got some good damage rolls too, I think, which really helped out. Never got to the Muscleheads line. Maffoonian is ahead right now. He is.
Yeah, he's keeping his lead. No kind of major time loss has really happened for for Keku to have a chance to come back.
Yeah, looking at the splits here, I'd say he's, 2 minutes ahead?
From Keku, yeah, probably about 2 minutes now. Maf gaining some time for sure, especially just based on the river manipulation.
Yeah, the river manipulation
2 fights versus Keku's 5 or 6 is just very obviously a big time advantage for Maf.
Yeah, not Keku. Maffoonian also did not take fight for Edgar experience. So
yeah, he got a double pterodon fight, but he ran from it, so he didn't.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, the Sephiroth does have the double pterodon fight, or the manipulation gives you a double pterodon fight. But yeah, it's not a necessary fight. It's purely for safety, in my opinion.
I mean, I think safety's good in races. I'm of the opinion that it's sometimes okay to be safe, maybe not overly safe.
True.
Depending on how confident you are, you can get away with cutting out those safeties. So here we get to fight regular Kefka, but he's literally a pushover, and that you just have to attack him, and he just runs away.
And we missed a menu there, actually. Maffoonian put sprint. Yeah, Maffoonian put sprint shoes on Cyan when he first got him, right after he named him. And then after putting sprint shoes on Cyan, he then went on to change the battle speed to... Oh, that's interesting, he did that many there. He changed the battle speed to 1. It used to be 6. That makes the enemies attack faster, and since he kills that general with a retort, he wants the general to trigger that retort as fast as possible. And in these 2 fights with Kefka, the fact that battle speed is at 1 actually doesn't matter, because battle speed does not affect party members, strangely enough, and in those 2 fights, Kefka is counted as a party member, which is also why he has his overworld sprite. It's weird. I don't really know why they did that way, but okay.
Here we get to see Shadow use his throw command. Throws the air lancet, which is something we picked up in the Returner's hideout.
Yeah, that is...
Just for this purpose, just to chuck it at this dude.
Yeah, it does a ton of damage and one-shots it. Sabin's Aurabolt also one-shots the other one. Sabin was in the back row for the Ultros fight. He was moved to the front row so that his regular attacks can one-shot the soldiers. Both those 2 soldiers and the ones that we're going to be fighting in a little bit. And here you can see Keku doing that change of configuration right now. Yeah.
I just noticed, so in the IRC, Keku said he went straight on the river at least once. So he got some extra encounters by just going the wrong way in the river.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was sort of preoccupied with Maffoonian's Ultros fight when that happened. So catching up with the story on the Maffoonian side, Kefka has kneeled at the river and conjured some Kool-Aid, which is somehow killed everybody in Doma, except for Cyan and Sentry.
Yeah, that one dude. They're the only ones who don't stay hydrated and haven't drunk any of the poison water.
Yeah, I think that Sentry is kind of suspicious. It's like, Cyan I kind of understand. He's a party member, he can't die, he's got a little bit of plot armor going on. Who's that Sentry guy, though?
He's gone now.
Yeah,
I actually don't think you ever see him ever again.
No, I don't think we do.
And then you get to the sad state of Cyan's family.
Yes. Cyan had a wife and child who have succumbed to the same fate as the rest of Doma. And Cyan goes psycho for the first time.
So these battles here with Cyan, you don't actually get to control Cyan. He is a party member, but he's like he's enraged right now. So he just kind of does his own thing. That only really matters for one of these fights, where you kind of just react to what Cyan does. For the most part, you're just going to be basic attacking whatever.
Yeah.
These grunts, just because they die in one hit from anything, so there's no point in doing anything with a lengthy animation.
Cyan also has a black belt effect going on during these fights, even if he doesn't have the black belt equipped, I believe. So regular attacks at Cyan can be countered by other base attacks. Oh, and that's something we actually don't want to see. Regular attacks are enough to kill these grunts. We don't want to see Cyan using dispatches, which are just wasting time.
Yeah, not a lot of time, but time is time in life. No free time.
Yeah.
So this is the only fight where Cyan's actions kind of affect what you do, is because there's a cadet. So based on who Cyan hits, you would change kind of whether you do you throw the Dirk with Shadow or do like a Horrible or something like that. I was hoping for the dog to get involved.
Man, no Ruru today. Well, there's still some chances. So yeah, oh wow. Was that 2 auto attacks into the cadet? Oh no, that was an auto attack and the dispatch. Well, yes, and a Dirk, because an auto attack and a dispatch will not kill the cadet. Oh, Kekuman opting for a pummel instead of an Orbolt on that Templar.
Yeah, Math also did a pummel on the Templar.
Oh, really?
If I recall, yeah.
You're doing Orbolt.
I prefer Orbolt just because, I like the Orbolt because it's like just this beam that's super cool. But I also just think it's an easier input than
it's definitely an easier input.
The thing with the pummel is left, right, left, which is really easy, but with the actual controller, sometimes you can get miscellaneous diagonal inputs by doing quick left, right, left like that, and fail pummel. It just happened to me, and it's super embarrassing, but I would be a liar if I said it didn't happen to me. So
yeah, don't be sad about it. I fail all the blitzes.
Well, I died to Vargas once. My second attempt ever. I got to Vargas and just failed pummel over and over until it murdered.
Okay, that does suck.
It was pretty bad. It was just a day where I couldn't do pummel, and I was like, it's just left, right, left. And part of it, I think, was also because if you move to from fight to blitz and you do that cursor movement down and hit A to activate blitz, if you do it too fast, it counts the down input as part of your blitz command. So that can be an easy way to flood blitzes up and stuff like that. But after that, I think my brain was like, you can't pummel, it's not possible.
Yeah.
And I just had a little brain fart.
So there we have the second Magitech armor segment. I can talk. Maffoonian just roasted a bunch of dudes with fire beams, and yeah, there's not a whole lot to that segment.
Yeah, very, very straightforward. Here we're in the Phantom Forest, which I love. I love this whole section. all Saban scenarios is just super iconic and super cool.
Yeah, super iconic, super cool, and super lethal. None more so than this one.
Absolutely. The forest itself isn't crazy dangerous. I mean, there's some things that can really wear down your HP. These ghosts cast fire, which does a decent chunk of damage. But the real danger is aboard the Phantom train for sure.
Yeah, true.
Those bombs can do blaze, which is a mighty hefty attack.
Yeah, fire does 60 to 70 damage against one person. Blaze is going to do something in the neighborhood of 225.
A reasonable increase in a jump of damage.
Yeah, luckily it's not common for bombs to use it, and bombs are also really slow. Of course, now that I've said that...
It's gonna happen, it's guaranteed gonna happen.
Yes.
So there's not actually a lot that you have to do on the Phantom train. You're mostly just trying to traverse the area. You get on it, you can't get off, and then you have to get to the front of the train. The question which the chat is likely wondering when we get there is, will Maff suplex the train?
A small thing I'd like to mention, since Maffoonian is on step route, he has to push the ghosts out of the way. Since Kekumon is not on step route, he can weave around the ghosts and potentially get by a little bit faster.
Yeah, you saw Maff actually try and do it there. It's because he has to force an encounter or he wants to force an encounter as part of the step route inside the train, just because outside the train there's bombs, which we mentioned, but also like the whispers or whatever.
Yeah, I believe. I believe if you don't force that encounter, you get a 3-bomb encounter.
That sounds really terrible.
Which is bad.
So you want the still-goings as opposed to the bombs, because still-goings not nearly as scary. But outside, there's bombs and there's whispers. And whispers, they come in either a pack of 1 or a pack of 4, and they can cast Demi, which halves your HP. So Keku in the Magitech sequence of the base.
Yeah.
He's will be making his way to the Phantom Forest soon.
Yeah.
So it's still about 2 minutes. It's mostly just the river time loss, kind of keeping Keku behind Maff right now. I mean, Maff is playing very well. On top of that.
Yeah, Maff is playing very well.
Hasn't dropped the step route.
And for being a runner new to the game, Keku is also doing pretty well. Like, he's been keeping the gap pretty consistent. And
Absolutely.
He just lost that big chunk of time on the river, which is... that's why I learned to set up my seed beforehand. And I expect he'll learn that soon as well. Right, so
he clipped through the ghost.
Oh, yeah,
he got the same clip that you'll see later in the lock scenario on the ghost.
Fight with a single bomb. This is part of the step route. Single bombs are okay. They're not going to kill you. Unless you get too many single bomb encounters. But that's not going to happen. Also picking up the earrings there. Those earrings are going to boost Saban's Aura Bolt damage by 1/4, which is going to be really, really nice for a lot of the bosses coming up.
Yeah, I think for this it's mainly for Kefka.
Yeah,
it's
definitely mainly for Kefka. Also helps slightly in the trench. Oh, Keku getting a pincer there, and a really nasty one.
That's unfortunate. He's got to kill one side of this, but unfortunately, it's the way Sabin and Cyan work. You do their commands. You kind of hope that they hit the right people.
Yeah.
You see him now. He's manually targeting the grasshopper on the right, and now you can start hoping to run away now that one side is clear. That's kind of so like blitzes and the sword techs do quite a lot of damage, but you can't. They just target random.
Yeah. Luckily, the damage he took from that fight isn't really an issue. He's going to get a heal here.
And that's a train suplex.
Yo,
that train has been properly suplexed.
That is a validated run right there on the Maffoonian side right now.
Absolutely.
And then going with the proper speed strat of Phoenix downing the train to one-shot it.
Yeah, he can feel pretty confident doing that suplex. No evil toot happened or anything like that. Evil toot can be kind of a scary start to the fight, depending on it's just you get inflicted with a bunch of random status effects. It can be very worrisome.
Evil toot is always a scary start to the fight because you see that animation going on for like a minute. Just waiting and wondering if you're going to die instantly or not. Evil 2 does have the potential to instantly end your run. Speaking of instantly ending runs, something that you did not see on Maffoonian side was that 2 Ghost 3 Poplium encounter on Kekuman's side. That is something that the Step Route does not get, and has been brought to my attention recently as a super dangerous encounter for the same reason as desert encounters in Figaro are, because those Popliums can just stop one of your characters and then you sit there and lose all your time.
It stops really a brutal status effect as even just like a casual. I mean, obviously you can't do anything, but it lasts for such a long time, like just an obscenely long time on top of it. Like, so it's a huge time loss, and usually means that character's dead. More than anything, like you just have to wait for them to die to get out of the battle.
I mean, it's better if they're dead because then you can use a Phoenix down on them. You can't use
stop
you can't get rid of stop. I think until you learn Dispel. Like, does Dispel even get rid of it?
Dispel, I think, gets rid of it.
Yeah, that's...
There is a cure to stop for sure. There is a cure to stop. So Maffoonian here, this is like the morning sequence because Science Family just.
Risliu has said in chat that haste also helps, and you do get haste slightly before you get Dispel. But those are both spells that we're going to be waiting that we're not going to get in this run.
Yeah, you don't get those spells until you get Espers, and you don't get Espers in this category. So Maffoonian did a bunch of menuing there because the game just there's like a timer for that cutscene. It won't fade out of it until that time has passed. You have a lot of time to rearrange your inventory and set the memory cursor to like potion and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sabin got a whole new set of relics. He got his earrings and a True Knight. He also moved the potion and the Phoenix down to the top and also opened up a little space at the top. That sets up this menu that he just did with Cyan's equipment, where he removed everything and then re-equipped the weapon. That weapon goes into that empty spot at the top and then gets re-equipped again. So now there's an empty spot at the top of the menu. Cyan is streaking through this fight, so he's going to take more damage, and we're going to see our true Psycho Cyan glitch here in this fight.
Yeah, it's a small glimpse into like just how Psycho Cyan can go. Maf is not mistargeting by accident. It's very much on purpose. He's trying to kill Cyan here.
Yes, we want Cyan to die. Because of Sabin's True Knight, he had to finish off Cyan with Sabin, because Sabin is the only character that can actually hit Cyan while Cyan is in critical. You hope for an extra Piranha attack on Cyan before then. Oh, and there we see why Sabin has the True Knight equipped, is to keep Cyan from dying again.
Yeah, he only had that one Phoenix down, so now we need Cyan to stay alive. So he puts retort up. He's going to attempt to suplex this piranha. Suplex actually fails if you're not a high enough level. And then Cyan gets real mad about it and just murders it.
I think in this case, I think piranhas are immune to suplex. And then, yeah, well, I think so. But, needless to say, suplex is a physical attack and hits. Retort is a magical attack somehow and hits. And then the piranha dies, and I think I heard that that's why the rest of the fight just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know the inner workings of the Rizopass skip.
It is.
I just know it's very fun to do, and it's not hard at all, actually.
Yeah, it is a fun skip. It is not a difficult skip, and it is very strange in how it works.
So, Gao. Math accidentally deleted all the letters in Gao's name, so now he's letter A.
Yep. So now instead of a growl, Gao is a scream. Here we've got the train fight on Kekuman's side.
Will we get a validation here? Keku is behind, so it is reasonable to assume that there will be no suplex. And it looks like there's not. He's queuing up the Phoenix down with Saban. So Keku prioritizing time over validation, which I respect. I actually didn't suplex the train in my race either.
Yeah, especially considering he is unfortunately not favored to win this one. On the other hand, Maffoonian getting a really bad Velt encounter. He got that pincer attack with the guards and Lobo. We saw that all the way back in Narshe.
Yeah, Lobos have a can't run flag, so he would have to kill the Lobo no matter what.
Yeah, and he also has to kill at least one side in order to run away. But since Cyan is terrible at running away, it's faster to just kill everyone.
Right. One thing we didn't mention was, I guess, Velt manip, which I don't know how that works, but it does avoid a Soldier Templar fight, which happens like 9 times out of 10 on the Velt.
We didn't get one the proper way, so Maffoonian giving us some bonus ones for the fans. Yeah, but yeah, I have no idea how the Velt works.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. Like the way it pulls is based on like a list of encounters, and if you haven't gotten into an encounter with a certain group, then it skips to the next one. And I don't know how the manipulation works for it.
Yeah, you can only run into encounters on the Velt that you have encountered off the Velt.
A blaze. You get a back attack from a bomb and insta blaze. So Cyan being dead isn't actually a problem.
No, it's a problem. Cyan needs to be alive for Gao to show up.
Oh, that I didn't know.
And on top of that being a back attack also makes it so Gao can't show up. So Maffoonian is pacing around and...
Is he so I guess he's unaware of that?
I'm pretty sure...
I don't know how true that. I mean, this fight will take a while with Solo Saban.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm quite certain Gao does not show up if Cyan is dead.
Yeah, I mean, so far, nothing. This could be Keku's chance to come back if Maff is unaware of that. And I wonder if that's... Oh god, this is a bad fight too.
Yeah, this is the fight that nobody wants to see on the Veld. All these dudes can counterattack when they die and do a lot of damage, and it's unrunnable.
The chat, I believe, has confirmed it, which means Maff does not know that Cyan needs to be alive. We see here Keku doing Musopath skip, so he's already on the path to making up time, and it's Maff. Maff has no Phoenix Downs. In order to revive Cyan, he has to go back to town.
Yeah, there are Phoenix Downs for sale in the shop in town, and he definitely has the money to get them. There's also an inn that he can take.
I don't think inns revive fire members, though.
I'm pretty sure they do. He may also have a tent because Phantom Train drops a tent sometimes.
Yeah. So, we got into the Lobo Marshal fight. Our boy the boss battle right here on the belt.
So
Maff, I saw Maff move upwards. I think he's going back to town now.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's figured it out. Yeah, he
can't run from any part of this fight. Even if you killed the Marshal first, the Lobos have an unrunnable flag. So you'd have to kill every part of this fight.
Yeah, I believe he has run into just about... Actually, no, there are a couple of unrunnables he has not run into yet. Basically the M-Tech armor ones.
Yeah, but he got into the Solar Templar, which is unrunnable, and this Marshal, and several Lobo guards. He's checking for some... He got a tent.
Yo, there's the tent. So Cyan is alive, and so is Maffoonian's run.
Yeah, that was a hefty time loss to take.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, tents, inns, both revive. Sleeping bags do not.
I see. And there's Gal.
Gal appears at last. So yeah, this all started with a back attack blaze by a bomb, demonstrating just how dangerous that train segment can be. Okay, it's not Gal, he's Ah! Okay, so Keku got the 2 Templar, 2 Grunt battle, which it seems like you always get on the Veld.
Yeah, I heard Nerm say like you got like 9 times out of 10. Wow, he took one step after that battle and got into another battle.
Yeah, this is the... Aside from River, this is the place you want to step route for, is the Veld, because the Veld is crazy. I want to say there are like 5 people that understand how the Veld works. None of them being the programmers of the game, probably. Because the Veld is just that crazy. He gets his dried meat and heads back out.
Yeah, hopefully Keku gets better luck. Doesn't get a bomb ruining his day like that. Double Tusker fight.
Maffoonian getting through the laziest cutscene in the game. Since it happens in a battle, interesting quirk, we can just hold down A, and it advances the text as quickly as possible.
I didn't know that, man. Well, come on.
And
I've been mashing my heart out on that cutscene. Just hold down A this whole time.
Oh man, you have been missing out.
Come on, man. Destroy my wrists over here.
I'm not trying to destroy your wrists here. I'm trying to
I didn't know. I mean, you saved them now. It's good to know. It's good information. So Keku fighting Gao on the first battle. So automatically gaining a lot of time against Matt.
Yeah.
Matt still with a pretty decent lead though. It's still probably about a minute, maybe minute 15.
Yeah. Well, Kekumon isn't off the veldt yet. So
yeah, that's true. He has to get to the cave as well.
Yeah, he has to get to the cave before he's safe. And he's only going to be safe. Both of these runners are only going to be safe for about 30 seconds as they pick up Gao's shiny thing. Because after that, they're heading into the trench.
Can anything really be that shiny though?
Somehow they get the idea that this helps them breathe underwater.
Yeah, it's also one. It's one. And
yeah,
there's 3 of them.
But yeah, Serpent Trench is coming up. It is the scariest part of the run. Completely unmanipulatable. Well, not completely, but you have to be a task to manipulate it effectively. Because
the main thing we're worried about on Serpent Trench is a single Angloform, I believe their name is.
Yeah, single Angloform has potential to just end your run instantly.
Yeah, they can cast Aqua Rake, which I believe obliterates the entire party.
Yes.
I don't know if it's an 100% chance, but it's pretty high up there.
There's a chance for Gao to survive if he is at full hit points. These Actanians are a good encounter. They're slow. They pretty much just normal attack and do something slightly harder than normal attack. And then he is going to be going right first. There are 2 places in the trench where you decide where you go. We are going to see both runners go right first and then left first. I mean, left second. Going right first gets you into a little cave where there aren't any encounters, and it's pretty quick to just run right through it. The second cave is kind of long and windy though, so we just opt to stay in the trench and get to the end.
So you're going left here. There's probably still a couple more encounters for Matt.
Yeah.
But Angloforms can only cast Aqua Rake if they're the single Angloform, so seeing them in the group like this is actually fine.
Yeah, we don't want to see single Angloforms. We also don't want to see pincer attacks.
Yeah, pincers can be very bad.
The enemies in the trench are really durable. They have fairly high defense. Oh boy.
Alright, it's a double Angloform. We're good.
Your heart stops.
Once you see the single Angloform as the name and you don't know it's the double, it's really scary.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe in the Japanese version, you also see pack quantity alongside the name. I really wish they kept that in the English version. And he makes it through the trench with no significant setbacks. And in the meantime, Kekumon is about to jump into the trench, and it looks like he's going to be about 2 minutes behind, so after all is said and done with the veldt, it's basically a wash.
Yeah, it was actually a big chance to catch up.
Yeah. I believe we just saw Maffoonian buy a mithril pike. This is
no,
he
sold a black belt. He bought 21 smoke bombs.
I thought I saw him walk over to the weapon vendor.
He did, and sold the black belt. Although he may have bought the pike.
Okay, he did buy a pike.
Actually, yeah, he did. You're right.
Yeah, this is one of the backups to not getting the pike off of Mog. If you don't get the pike off of Mog, you can just buy 2 here. The other backup, if you don't have the money to buy a pike, is to pick up a weapon in Terra's scenario.
Yeah, in the Mog cave.
Yeah, in the Mog cave, the rune blade. Not as good, but good enough.
So we're gonna see Math going to do a clip here. He's gonna essentially skip, not essentially, but basically literally skip through all of Locke's scenarios. He's gonna enter this house, and then the guard will reset back to a specific point, and then he's going to open the menu, and then clip right through him, and then boom, he's out of South Figaro. That's it. In Kefka and Narshe, there's no reason to name Celeste, which also means we get the best result. Oh, that's a pincer. But this is why we have smoke.
Yes. But we wind up in Kefka and Narshe with the hottest OTP of the SNES era, Locke and Kutan.
Yeah, General Kutan.
Cyan taking a ton of damage in the Serpent Trench, which is actually not the worst thing since he sucks so much at running.
Yeah, him being dead means that running is theoretically faster.
Yeah. But it looks like Kekumon managed to get through the trench also without any huge setbacks. And what's that weird noise I'm hearing? I'm hearing a weird noise coming from Maffoonian stream. Sounds like tunneling. Magically, there is a Thunder Rod in this chest. If you open this chest the first time through the cave, you get something we don't care about.
Yeah, the chests in this cave change on the way back. So if you were to get it the first time, it's something significantly less valuable.
Yeah, Risley says it's a tincture, which is meh.
I mean, tincture's like not a bad item by any means, but it's not a Thunder Rod. Like not even close.
It's not a Thunder Rod. We're about to see what a Thunder Rod can do.
So Ghost is talking to Locke here. Normally Celeste would be in your party, but we don't have her. So it's just blank characters speaking to Locke. And then Thunder Rod, the tunnel armor, and boom.
Yeah,
nice.
Locke, Thunder Rod's a tunnel armor. 1448 damage every time. Right. And now Kekumon attempting the skip.
Got it.
Yeah, nice. Nicely done by both of our runners. That skip is, again, like deceptively really difficult. If you come out of that door as fast as possible and go to the corner as fast as possible, you will miss that skip every time because you'll just get there too early.
Yeah, I usually go as fast as possible and then like wait a beat and then open the menu.
Yeah, you have to somehow work a little bit of delay into it. Some people do it by taking a couple extra turns. Some people, what I do is I wait on pressing down out of the door instead of buffering down. Most people, I believe, just pause for half a beat right before the guard moves into position. So, yeah, lots of ways to do it. Wow, Locke getting wrecked on Keku's side. Locke looks like he's in the front row.
One thing to note is that Keku didn't move Locke to the second position. The reason that is done is because it's just in case of a pincer attack with the gold bears. If you get that pincer and Locke is in the first slot, his back is facing the gold bear, and he takes extra damage from it, which is obviously can kill him. So that's the reason that he's moved to the second slot.
Yeah, if the gold bear uses gouge, he can actually just kill Locke in one shot.
He was in the front row. Keku just corrected it just now. And here's that battle we're just talking about. Luckily, that's what smoke bombs are for. But you see, Locke is facing the gold bear.
He might still die anyway if. Okay, he got the smoke bomb off.
Motioning for safety. I believe tunnel armor isn't really a threat.
If you get the Thunder Rod off fast enough, tunnel armor will not have time to use anything nasty on you. Like, tunnel armor hits like a truck and will absolutely destroy you if you did not have this Thunder Rod.
think it knows like 1,000 needles.
It has crazy magic attack and crazy spells. And, yeah, the intended method is that Celeste is supposed to use Runic to absorb all the spells to protect Locke, and then Locke is just sort of pokes at it until it dies. But that is even slower than it sounds.
Yeah. So Math here in this little security room or whatever for Narshe. The intended way is to like follow the exact path that the light took, but you're only going to see a partial following of that. And the nice thing about it is that when this little thing shows up and you're supposed to hit that red light, you can just hold A and you'll always hit the red light. And we use that to just skip straight ahead that one little tile.
Yeah. Chad is nervous for Maffoonian.
Yeah, Bannon's a little low. He's got like 35 HP.
He should be fine though, because all that we fight from here on out are start of game enemies. These Reapermen and Vaporites are just going to hit Bannon for like 3 or 4 hit points each if they get an attack off, so he is perfectly okay staying here. It was a little scary a little earlier though, when he was potentially fighting first classes and stuff. And on the other side we have Kekumon entering the cave as well, making use of those smoke bombs to get Bannon out of there much faster than his weak old man legs can carry him.
Yeah, Bannon just got hit by a Vaporite and took 3 damage, so it would take Math like putting the controller down for like a minute or so for Bannon to be particularly in danger of dying. So that's the end of all 3 scenarios for Math. So he's going to be moving on to this little cutscene right before the battle at Narshe, which is the end of our run once we defeat Kefka. So Math coming into this with a pretty sizable lead. Kefka can still go poorly. You can definitely die to Kefka. It's not a free boss battle by any means.
Yeah.
But with solid weight tricking, you should be able to get through it pretty consistently.
Yeah, I don't think there's a real chance for Kefka to just kill you, like, without you having a say in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the 3rd turn Kefka can cast a spell, and he has a chance to cast Ice 2 on your entire party.
Yeah, Kefka's 3rd turn is the dangerous turn. If you weight trick well enough, then Kefka will not live to see his 3rd turn. On the other hand, Kefka has some tricks that he can throw at you to make it harder to do. Like he can cast poison on his 2nd turn. If that hits the wrong dude for a high damage roll, then that can potentially, knock your damage down just enough to allow him his 3rd turn. Or if that was the guy you were planning on weight tricking the Aura Bolts with, you could mess up your turn order. It's not a free fight, but we should see Maffoonian handle it.
There's our Kutan right there.
Yeah, there is Kutan.
Cyan got a lot of hatred for Kutan.
Yeah, Rune Edge is a good weapon for Edgar. It just has high damage. I don't believe we saw Keku pick up any Mithril Pikes at, what's the name of that town? Miranda?
No, that's not Miranda.
Nagia. Thank you, Rizlia. But yeah, he didn't pick up the 2nd weapon, so Mithril Pike plus Rune Edge is just a little bit more damage than Mithril Pike plus Mithril Blade. But 2 Mithril Pikes, I believe, is the best setup, and that is what Maffoonian is running with right now. Alright. I see the chat rooting for Kefka. It's Team Maffoonian versus Team Kefka in chat right now.
So Maffoonian taking the safety save. Just it's a race, it's a tournament race after all. And like you said, with some pretty bad RNG, you can get a potentially deadly Kefka. But we're gonna see one party filled with rock stars essentially, and the other two parties are just there to fill the space because they need to be.
Yeah,
we're gonna be moving the party with Edgar, and if the beginning of the game with the little lock scenario was a little similar to this. You're gonna be seeing kind of the exact same thing, skipping the enemies like that. Or you can actually just avoid their general movement just by hiding in specific spots. You see him pick Edgar and kind of hide in a little cubbyhole in one of the sections.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with these, the green guys just walk right by, and then once this green guy moves, he can move down over here, and then wait for the brown soldiers.
Yeah, the brown soldiers move a bit quicker than the green ones, but still pretty slow. And once this guy goes up, he comes out Edgar. Oh, moving to the left again, my favorite strategy. And successfully completes the rider skip.
Nice. Do you see him weight tricking on that first turn?
Yeah, go ahead. You want to weight trick all the aura bolts, because those aura bolts are generally going to be getting queued up when your dudes have full ATB. And you saw him also weight tricking the dispatch right there. Oh,
he failed the blitz input. That could spell trouble. We'll see. Cyan is dead. It's not helping things either.
We're going to see a Kefka turn 3 here.
Absolutely. We're hoping it's something not nearly as deadly as
the options are physical attack, bolt, and ice 2. We don't.
Ice 2. It's on the entire party. Cyan, Sabin lives. So don't think you won. Finish him off with a 420 Orbital. Are you serious right now?
And Maffoonian finishes with an official SRL race time of 1:32.32.
Great stuff to Maffoonian. What a finish, man. Gets the Ice 2 in the entire party. The 420 Orbital to finish things off.
Yeah.
Kekuman getting
a fantastic run.
Yeah, that was
Kekuman
awesome.
starting his. Sorry.
Let's see if he gets the. That's not a problem. We're both trying to say the same thing. He's starting this thing, trying to see if he gets these skips. See if he'll skip that rider and see how his Kefka fights go.
Did we see a safety save from Kekuman?
I don't know. He may have opted out of it in an attempt that maybe Maf died to Kefka, which very much could have happened.
Yes.
And that was the recipe for it right there.
Yes.
I didn't see offhand. So Kekuman starting it right now. I don't think he weight tricked that.
No, he did not weight trick that Orbital. Sword Tech does not stop ATB, so for that first Orbital, we saw Maffoonian go into Gao's Rage menu, which will stop the ATB. Sword Tech does not. Blitz does, and Edgar's Tool menu does.
You see a Bolt, which is actually okay.
Yeah, Bolt is fine. Bolt is fine. So that was Kefka's third turn.
And this should be the last setup. things. This dispatch
Yeah,
and Edgar attack.
Clear here.
Nice.
And there he is. There's the dot done with the official SRL race time of 1:34.40, which I believe is a PB for him, if I remember what you said correctly.
I believe so, yes. I believe it's about like a couple minutes or 3 or 4 minute PB from him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like splits, he just has the timer, so I can't tell offhand. I don't know if he's improved it. I know he's been doing some practice like the last couple nights, so I don't know if he's improved it from there.
But yeah,
I believe that
great run from Kekuman here. He once again just 2 minutes behind like the entire time, all of it on that river.
Yeah, almost to the dot. They're 2 minutes and 8 seconds apart, and a lot of that, about a minute plus of that, was just the river. Keku's saying he didn't PB, but he almost did. Okay, so he must have gotten a PB behind my back without telling me.
Or maybe you saw his SRL race PB?
That's possible. But great stuff to both runners.
Yeah, if I was in Maffoonian's position right now, I'd be hitting A couple times, because Edgar has a great line. He says when he's facing the Esper that was a close call, but maybe the screen is just a little bit better.
All right, good race. I think that's all for now.